Good morning, class 4th. Children, I hope you all are fine and taking care of yourself. Children, we are still doing chapter number 1 and today we will finish it off. Okay, so I am on page number 13 and we shall start with data versus information. In the previous period, we have discussed how computer is useful in various fields like banks, hotels, education, science and technology, etc. Okay, so today we are going to study about data versus information because we have heard of these two words so many times. That is why we should understand what does it mean. So let's start. Data are simply facts or figures, bits of information but not information itself. Means data are only facts and figures, something written in alphabets with using the combination of alphabets, and figures means numbers, means they can denote anything that we want. And basically data is anything that we input into the computer, which is possible for us to input into the computer. Okay, they are bits of information, means it is not that they do not contain any information. Like suppose if I enter your details into the computer, then they are information in itself, but when they combine with other data, they produce comprehensive information, means the complete information about something. Okay, when data are processed, interpreted, means when we process them, we add or subtract numbers, we interpret them, means we change their form or we present them in our own form, organized, structured or presented so as to make them meaningful or useful. They are called information. Means they are organized at times. Like suppose if I randomly enter the data of 10 students and I organize them in the alphabetical order, so I am doing changes in it. A structure, I am giving it a structure. And presented means how we are going to present, in your case, suppose your marks and data is entered into the computer randomly, but when the report card is presented to you, it is in a particular form, it is in a particular order. So all of this is done in the computer, and the data that we enter is processed by the CPU to do all these things and present us with the meaningful information. Okay, because it is having some meaning and it is useful to us. Now, information provides context for data, means it gives a meaning to data. Otherwise, suppose if there are total 60 students in a class and we just have information randomly, so there is no weightage, no use of that data. But when we process it in the form of as a class, when we present them, it gets a meaning. So it provides a meaning, it provides a weightage to the data. Data are the facts or details from which information is derived. Means we cannot get information just like randomly. We need to have data so that we can do all these things and then we can derive the information. Individual pieces of data are rarely useful alone. Means as such, as I told you, as such individual pieces are not useful, and even they are not totally useless. They have some use, but when they combine with other data, they produce more information. For data to become information, data needs to be put into the context. Means for data to present information, we need to do something with the data. We need to do some processing. We either need to give it a structure, or we need to process it, or we need to organize it properly so that it becomes information, it becomes useful for us. Okay, so children, today we have completed this chapter, and the last is here the comparison chart, that is data versus information comparison chart. Meaning data, the meaning of data is raw, unorganized facts that need to be processed. Data can be something simple and seemingly random, and useless unless it is organized. Means data is raw, just like the we presented just like that, like we call vegetables raw, so they are in their natural form are raw, but when we do something, when we cook them, then they are turned into a information or a curry which we can have. Okay, so they are raw, unorganized, and we do process the data so that we get the organized information. They are simple and seemingly random, and as such they will look random and useless unless they are organized. Suppose if in a register I write down the details of 20 students in random order, so you will feel that okay, it is just an information and it is like kind of useless. But when I will put them in a structured order, in an organized order, then you will get to know that how useful it is. Example, each student's test score is one piece of data. As I told you that during report card, your teacher is using raw data to present the meaningful information. Now, information. When data is processed, organized, structured, or presented in a given context so as to make it useful, it is called information. We have already discussed that after the data is processed, the meaningful thing that we get, it is called information. Like the average score of a class or of the entire school is information that can be derived from the given data. So we can get here we were having the data of 20 or 60 or 100 students, and here we can get the average score of the class. So that will be a meaningful information. Like average you will only get when you have quite a few students. So for that you need data. Okay children, so you will just do a revision of the chapter and try to understand it nicely. Okay, and take care. Bye bye.